Zion Williamson 2021 top, media day 2019 bottom. My guy looks different. He's definitely put on some weight. He definitely looks heavier, but is this a reason we should be worried about Zion's career?
Bang! Bang! It's over, ladies and gentlemen. Say what again?
Welcome back into another J Talks video, ladies and gentlemen. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit that little subscribe button down there for me. It would help out a lot. If you're new to my content, you might have never seen me before. Well, I've got two other YouTube channels, one where I play a lot of NBA 2K, and another where I do deep dives on NBA history. Both those links down below. Do me a favor and check them out if you've got a second. But folks, back to the image in question. This is why today I wanted to talk about Zion Williamson, because I saw this picture floating around yesterday on Twitter and it evoked a lot of responses, obviously, because on the surface, like, it looks bad, dude. It looks like Zion is way heavier than he was when he entered the league, and that actually might be true. In addition, this picture showcased on Twitter coincided with Pelicans GM David Griffin finally giving us an update on Zion's foot injury, saying there's no fixed timeline for return to action, of course, after surgery to repair a right foot fracture. So basically the update was, we don't really know, but in 2 or 2.5 weeks, Zion's gonna get scanned again. Maybe by then he will play, but all this got me thinking about Zion's career with yet another injury here. And the one last thing that spurred me to make a video on Zion today, I saw this tweet, very innocuous. It has nothing to do with Zion. It came from Channing Frye asking which connection will have more highlight dunks this year, Trey and John Collins or LaMelo and Miles Bridges? And when I read that, I was like, well, first of all, LaMelo and Miles Bridges, right? Am I right? But my second response was, dude, Zion Williamson should always be involved in those conversations, and it kind of feels like a failure that he's not. When we go back to 2019 when Zion was drafted, he was one of the most interesting prospects, period, like just flat out to ever enter the NBA. Specifically athletically, he was maybe the most exciting prospect since, I don't know, LeBron. And in his short time on the court in the NBA, I mean, he's been nothing short of spectacular. But of course, between the way the roster with the Pelicans has been handled and Zion's continued injury struggles, he isn't included in a tweet like that from Channing because he just isn't. Like, we can't say he's gonna have the most highlight dunks this year. Is he even gonna play? Now, I'm being a bit dramatic, obviously, and to be completely honest, it's unfair to judge those photos of Zion and the way he looked at media day, in my opinion, because he's had an injured foot. Okay, it is a valid excuse that he probably isn't on his, workout plan. He probably is gaining some weight because of that foot, but is this a chicken or an egg situation, right? This is his 5th lower extremity injury dating back to the infamous shoe incident at Duke. So it's been a couple knee things, actually more than a couple knee things, now a foot. And you really have to wonder, like, does his weight and his unique build, we know Zion's always been built like something we've truly never seen, does that all contribute to the way he keeps getting injured below his waist, his legs? Now, despite my handsome good looks and my incredible wealth, I promise you all, I am not a doctor. And I'm also not that handsome, and I'm also not that rich, so just never mind. But to me, I don't think we can just, cast judgment on Zion and his future in terms of injuries. Like, people get injured, some people don't. It's really just too hard to, and judging someone based on their photos, I think if any of us are really doing that, it's pretty unfair. Is it concerning that once again he's injured and we don't have a timeline? Absolutely, but again, I'm not a doctor, neither are you. But of course, if we dial things back into June, we all remember the Athletic report. They have been unable, the Pelicans, to put together the right elements to make rising star Zion Williamson and his family happy. Apparently, Zion's family members, they wanted him out of town. Now, that was such a weird story when it broke, and of course, we had rumors left, right, and center all summer. Eventually, Zion kind of put those to bed just a couple weeks ago at Media Day.
How I feel about the organization? Per me. I love it here. I love the city of New Orleans. Don't want to be anywhere else. My relationship with Griff.
Now, call me naive like Kevin Durant, but I kind of believe Zion. Like, if he says he loves New Orleans, he didn't have to kind of put that on the way he did. Again, maybe I'm naive, but I do think Zion is cool with New Orleans. Maybe he doesn't love it, but I think he's fine with it. But as William Guillory of The Athletic wrote just a couple days ago, the shroud of mystery that surrounded almost everything involving this foot injury only raises concern about what it could mean for this season and his future as a whole. I just said the word season offseason really weird. Let's just ignore it. This pattern of giving optimistic timelines initially only to push them back later increases frustration among the fan base and gives validity to those who question if Williamson will ever remain healthy for an extended period. Now that, to be fair, came out before David Griffin said, you know, there is no fixed timeline, but 2.5 weeks Zion will be reevaluated. But I think that quote and that analysis was so true. So much of Zion's career so far with the Pelicans has been a mystery. He's battled injury, he's battled will he come back, he's battled his weight issues, of course. Has he been always locked in on defense? I don't really think so. And of course, the overhaul that we've seen from the Pelicans roster. I mean, there's no more Lonzo in town. Brandon Ingram appears to be the number one, but do him and Zion work well together? There's just so many freaking questions that I can see why a lot of fans and people looking from the outside like myself are starting to question if we should be worried about Zion Williamson's career. And here is my take. All right, this is what you all came for. Maybe. I don't really know. Here is my opinion on where we're at right now with Zion. In 2019-20, his rookie year, he only played 24 games after coming off injury, but he averaged 23.6 rebounds per game on 58% shooting from the field. That's pretty good. In 2020-21, he played 61 out of a possible 72 games, averaged 27.7 rebounds on 61% from the field. We don't see players with those numbers, like basically ever. To me, again, not a doctor, for better or worse, Zion Williamson is a generational talent. He's unique, he's different. You're gonna have to mold the offense and the game around him differently than like a LeBron James or a Luka Doncic. But Zion has shown when he is on the court, he is about as impactful offensively anyway as like any prospect we've seen enter the league before. He's still super freaking young. What is he, 21 years old? The injury concerns are absolutely valid. I mean, it's a trend at this point. But I think if you're the Pelicans, you simply have to sit here today and trust that modern medicine and the training staff you have to trust that all those injury concerns and will Zion's career be affected, you have to hope those are just concerns, that isn't true. You simply can't let a player of this caliber, of this impact, Zion Williamson, stew in mediocrity. You have to build the team around him. You just have to do it. He's your centerpiece, whether you love it or not, because yeah, he might be injured sometimes. The Pelicans absolutely cannot afford to lose another player of his elite talent. And is it going to be frustrating a season like this where he might be out for months on end and it's a bit of mystery? Yes, it really is. But if I'm the Pelicans, I'm doing whatever I can to mend the relationship I have with this player because he's the future. And as for the injuries, man, all of us, including fans outside of New Orleans, I mean, we just all gotta hope and pray that next year we'll be talking about him as one of the most highlight-ridden players in the NBA. He should be there. If you found this video enjoyable or informative, then drop a like down below. If you made it all the way through to this point in the video, then please leave me a comment too. All right, y'all.